has some things to say about DVD, and I'm kind of curious to see what he has for this 11.5 minute video. So let's have a look what he has to say. We're at Gas Haven. Why's he got a box?
So I've been playing Dead by Daylight since 2019. And in my 6 years of playing this game, I primarily only uploaded fun and positive type of
It's crazy that he's only played it since 2019. I played this game since like 2017, I'll say. Came out late 2016. I played it 2017.
content. However, since I'm on the cusp of amassing 7,000 hours played, I thought it would
God.
be a little different and talk about all the things I absolutely fucking hate in this game. Before you start thinking, man, Spookyloopz got fat. You're damn right I did. Please tell me in the comments. Boost my engagement. My eyes are up here, buddy. So I'm gonna start you off easy. There are currently 54 maps in Dead by Daylight at the time of recording this video, and with a bunch more on
Really?
the way. Now, the majority of the maps in DVD
Don't
are
feel like
totally
it
fine.
sometimes.
Hear me if I say usually fun. However, there are some that are just so incredibly ass that you know loading into the game, you're going to get frustrated. And those maps are Ellen's Bush, Poop Castle, Tatooine, Garden of Ass, and every variant of Bad Ham Preschool. Now, I don't know if there's like a contractual obligation for like...
I agree with all the maps except Bad Ham. I don't understand why Springwood gets such a bad rep. There are certain versions that are complete cheeks. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to remember which ones they are. I think it's 3 and 2 are complete buns. The original and 4, though, I think are pretty solid, in my opinion. And I have good games in those, so I don't know why everybody gets on all Bad Ham, but
the Freddy license, but who in their right minded behavior was like, you know what this game needs? 5 different versions of this shitty school. That in preschool not only has...
That is true, though. Why make 5 versions of it? It could have just made 2, maybe 3. I don't think you really need 5. I forget that there is 5. I only see like 3. Swear to God.
Has a super gross main building with 4 strong pallets and a super obnoxious window to chain it all together. But God forbid, if you down someone on the bottom floor without basement, you're more than likely going to have to break a wall just to get them out. Like, just put me in the ambulance already. I wish I could say that it doesn't end there. Every variant of Bad M has a shack, House of Pain, and a Quinton house. Like, brother, this pad is 400 square feet. How'd you even fit a pallet in here? The map is just awful. Area Crows has terrible visitors.
I feel like that's from the killer side. He is a killer main, and I completely understand where he's coming from with me playing both sides. As Survivor, yeah, those are great spots. As a killer, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating for sure, but there are ways to counteract it, which I'm sure he knows. Like, this isn't by far not a what the fuck, he don't know what he's talking about video. That's not what I'm going for. I just want to see how much I agree. Killer side, very frustrating. Survivor side, not as frustrating. So I guess it depends on the fence of where you're at. But I have won my games as killer, and I've won my games as survivor on those maps. So, and I've lost on killer and survivor on the same maps. Bad Ham, I don't think it's too bad. It's about a 50-50 map, which I don't consider those bad. Those other ones he was saying, though, like when you're playing killer, you know it's gonna be a bad time. You know you're gonna have to sweat. You can't fucking just play the game. You have to sweat at the game like you're in a competition because they're so bad.
Visibility and practically everywhere is safe. And obviously survivors know that, or else they wouldn't be burning crow offerings every 3rd game. The Vecna map has 2 levels, and the best strategy is just to never go downstairs. Nostromo is gigantic, and this window fucking sucks. Actually, no, the entire map sucks. Now, don't get me wrong. The art team behind creating these realms completely knocked it out of the park visually. For example, Garden of Joy feels bad to play on, but like, look at this. That's cool. However, the ongoing trend I see happening with new maps is they're trying to one-up the last one, at the cost of how it actually plays. Not you, Orm, in mine. That map's pretty fun. All right, so we got the maps out of the way. Hey! You gonna buy anything? You've been here like 30 minutes. Do you have any gummy bears? No, we don't.
What the fuck?
How about some earbuds?
Oh, sorry about that. Let's continue with the video, shall we?
The DVD community, but almost everyone has experienced the Go Next epidemic. I don't know what it is, but it seems lately the uptick in survivors either DCing or killing themselves on hook has increased dramatically. Now, I know there's some gamers out there that have
100%.
accessibility concerns.
That 100% does. You either have them where they don't try to do anything, or they try to get themselves killed so they don't get the penalty for DCing, and or they're just trying. A lot of people are just trying to lower their MMR as well. Seems like, pardon me. Which I'm like, Doesn't anybody want to get better at their game? I don't understand how when you get to a point where it's like, oh, this is too hard, I need to lower my MMR, so you load in the games, purposely lose so your MMR drops. Like, you hear me say this all the time. Learn, adapt, and conquer, man. If you're having trouble at that level, learn what you need to do, adapt to what you need to do, and then conquer it. That's all it is. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, let's look at this nice hairy bearded man.
Or physical reactions in regards to some killers they face, I completely understand if you gotta go. But I've had people DC simply for me just chasing them first. Like, this is a video game. All of us took the time to get in the match, and if you don't want to play, okay, that's fine. Disconnect, eat your penalty, but give us a bot. The thing that frustrates me the absolute most about this current
that is the most frustrating thing, is that if they just DC before when they would DC, you were out of player. That player was gone. Now you have 3 people trying to do 5 gens, which is damn near impossible. If now though, if somebody DCs or leaves the game or whatever, their character becomes a bot, which is at least a body for the killer to go for, to waste at least a little bit of time for the rest of you and your teammates. Because TBD is very a time manageable like game. You need to manage your time wisely or you're never going to escape. So at least you have a bot then to help manage that time and give you some time to get gens done or whatever needs to be done. But when they literally just run up to the killer, go hook me, and then just kill themselves instantly on hook by trying to escape for no, and ignoring the skill checks on the second phase, they just kill themselves. Now you're screwed. It is very frustrating.
The types of people that circumvent the DC penalty by just killing themselves on hook anyway. I understand if you're trying to Kobe because your team is cooked and you're just trying to survive, but doing it as a way to get out of the match on first hook because you played bad, not only royally fucks over your team, but instantly makes the...
And it usually happens a lot when they find out it's a killer they don't like. Like, for example, if somebody's like me and hates going against Doctor because Doctor's power is ridiculously huge, right? And it counteracts his powers alone almost counteract almost every perk. Not every perk, but almost. Like, any perk build can get counteracted by Doctor if he's built right. Well, not even if he's built right, just his power alone. You got quick pallet slams and all that other shit. Oh, shock. You can't do that for a second and I catch up to you and hit you. You know, things like that. Oh, you're trying to be sneaky? Oh, shock blast. Oh, now you're screaming. I know exactly where you're at regardless, no matter what you put on. So, you know, it is very frustrating. And you have people who, like, oh shit, it's Doctor. I'm going to try to do my best, but I'm not expecting to win. You know what I mean? But I'm going to play the game to help try to get at least the rest of my team maybe out. Whether that's me taking chase or working on gens to help them get out at least. I'm very happy with that. But you have some people who go, oh, it's Doctor. I don't want to play this, but I don't want to back out because I'll get like a 2-hour penalty or something because they back out all the time. So then they just run up to the Doctor and say, kill me. So they can get out of the game. That is very frustrating. Again, learn, adapt, and conquer. Go play Doctor. I played him for a while just so I can get used to how he is. And now I know as a survivor what I can do and what to do when being chased or whatever have you be, you know. Doesn't always mean it works out. At least now you have an idea of how to play against them. Every killer is different. But you have some people who refuse to play because they don't like them or refuse to play killer because they're like, I don't want to play killer. I just want to be a survivor. That's all fine and dandy, but at least go into a custom game and play that killer so you can learn what that killer is and what he does and everything else, because that will help you learn how to get away from them or run them around or whatever have you be, or what build you might need to actually be able to get past that killer. But people won't do that. They won't take the time to do that. Yes, gaming is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to, and everything. But if you're having a problem with somebody, that's when you have to do this crazy thing that we all thought we didn't have to do after graduating, which is homework. Look up YouTube tutorials. Look up Reddit posts. Play them and find out yourself. Like, there's many ways to do it, but people won't do it. They just rather run up to the killer, wave at them to kill them, hook them. They get put on a hook, and then they just quit.
Terrible for everyone else involved. It's not our fault your DC penalty is 12 days long. You're kind of being selfish. And those aren't even the worst.
I agree.
We've had survivors attempt to go next on hook, only to get saved before they could. So they run around, dropping every pallet on the map to get back at their team. And then spam loud noise notifications over and over like a baby. So that brings up the big question, how would you fix it? I personally think being able to make attempts to unhook yourself needs to be removed from the game entirely. Unless you came into the trial with deliverance or...
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. That to me is not No. As someone who plays Survivor and Killer, like he's very Survivor side or Killer side, and I get it. Killer mains, Survivor mains all have different invisible rule books or whatever have you be. But I do not agree with people shouldn't be able to try to get themselves off the hook. I don't agree with that. And here's why. Because if you have one person, if you have two people left, one person's on the hook, one's working on gens, they have to quit to get that off that gen, even if it's the last one, and it might just have a hair left. If you're putting on your first hook, it's like, hey, you stay on that gen, I'm going to try to get myself off. And then if you don't, then they'll have to come and get you. But you already can't within the second stage. And it's only a 4% chance. I probably get off the hook once every 30 times if I'm lucky.
And of course, the new anti-camp. You get hooked twice, let go, brother. I don't care. At least you gave your team a shot. Because right now, the game pretty much incentivizes you to do so if you won out with no penalty. And as sad as it is, I'd much rather have no DC penalty, let people just leave when they want, but at least the team has a bot. If that's the direction the game is going to go in the future, just be ready because you're...
I think, honestly, in my opinion, it's going to be kind of controversial with DVD players. Just get rid of the fucking penalty. Just get rid of the penalty. I know why they put it in there, and that's fine. Because when they put it in there at that point in time, you didn't get a bot that took over that character you were playing. Now that happens. So if you're going to have some jerk do that, just take away the penalty. Take it away at this point. Like, at least you have a bot now that will work on gens, heal people, get people off the hook, run the killer for maybe not long, but at least for a little bit. At least that's an extra pair of hands.
That's the direction the game
he just said the same thing I said. He agreed with that. Then just get rid of the penalty. I completely agree.
The future, just be ready because you're one iridescent hatchet away from playing the campaign.
What the fuck is he doing?
This game seems pretty fun. Is it easy to get into? Actually, no. Not really. Oh. That's too bad. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been part of the DVD community for a
What are these skits? I love these skits. So funny. He needs to do more of them. They're so good.
long time, and I want nothing more than to see the game grow. And with 2025 supposedly being a massive year for DBD, getting a bunch of new players to stick around is probably going to be challenging because the new player experience in DBD is absolute cheeks. DBD has so much variance in so many different factors that I think more tools need to be implemented for the newer players that come to the game. Like the Survivor tutorial teaches you basically nothing about the actual game. Sure, here are the controls. Vault this window, click on this generator. If my 65-year-old dad figured it out on his first go, you know there's not much to grasp. But first, go over here to inside the gate and stop, and then you know the control button, just keep clicking it up and down. Crouching? Yeah, that's what you want to do. That lets the killer know that you won.
Where's that damn hole at?
Alright, so you finished the basic tutorial. Now try it against a bot killer. Now, I'll be honest, I'll give credit where credit is due. At least they even have this option, but it's going to be quite the culture shock when a new player goes from a bot trapper to getting smacked by a blight going 60 miles per hour in a live game.
True.
The point I'm getting at is there's 38 killers, like 9,000 perks in DBD. There needs to be a new way for a new player to
He says 9,000. He's very exaggerating, but he's not that far off, to be honest. I think there's just shy of 400 perks in the fucking game, which is insane. I got some people from Good to come play. Some of them stuck around, some of them didn't. And I think a lot of it is because of how big of a learning curve as of now. Like back in 2017, 2018, you had 5 killers, maybe 6, where you're like, hey, all these are different. They do this. And yeah, the loading screens give you hints or whatever, but not everybody reads their loading screen, and it's a lot. Like, even trying to explain to people, okay, this killer does this, this killer does this, this killer does this. It's hard to explain. Some of the killers are so complicated, it's hard to explain. I feel like they need to have a section where if somebody's struggling to play Survivor against a certain killer, like Blight for his example, I think there should be, we have a private lobby where you can go play as a killer against bots to learn to killer, but I think they should make it where you can have a bot killer so you can kind of get the idea of what that killer is like playing against that killer. You know what I mean? That makes sense? I can't, man, every time I play Blight, I get hooked within the first minute of the game, and then I die within the first 3 minutes of a game. I need to get better going against Blight. Go against the bot a little bit. And then, yeah, sure, when you play against an actual person who's like a highly skilled Blight player, it still might not fix everything, but it definitely will make the learning curve not as steep as it currently is. I completely agree with him on that.
Just to smacked by a blight going 60 miles per hour in a live game. The point I'm getting at is there's 38 killers, like 9,000 perks in DBD. There needs to be a new way for a new player to jump into a custom game, select which bot killer they want to play against, and learn the game at their own pace. So
that's crazy that he just said the same thing.
Next time you see a default Meg hiding in a bush while you're phasing out on hook, remember the reason as to why. Okay, so let's say a new player toughs it out and commits to the game. Not only is 90% of the game locked behind a rather large paywall, but the grind is ridiculous. Us seasoned players have the luxury of being around for a while, so unlocking new perks and add-ons are fairly easy. Even if they decided to pay up to unlock every character, the grind in 2025 to get tier 3 teachables on everyone is insane. You can only imagine how much time that would actually take. I get comments all the time from people that watch my videos that can't replicate the build I'm running because the perk simply isn't available to them. I think if you spend real-world dollars to unlock a character, the perk should also come along with it. No more tier 1 or 2 bullshit family dollar versions, just a perk as it was intended, available on everyone. This is DBD.
I don't agree with that, and here's why. Because those certain perks are made for that certain character. It's part of their character, right? The other thing is let's say you want Finesse from Lara Croft, right? Finesse is given to Lara Croft because she's very good at getting through things. So she's got the fast vault perk, makes sense. You want to get her, but you don't want to play as Laura for whatever reason, you can play as Claudette or anybody else. Kate, Claudette, David, all you want, and then when you get those blood points, spend them on her. I have played this game since 2017, like I said, and I have dealt with the grind from back then until I think it was 2019. No, it wasn't 2019. It was like 2021, I think. Finally put the quick blood point, You had to use this. You had to sit there, play the game, get the blood points, go to the blood web, and select every part like this. What's going on in the background?
So
clicking that middle and having it just go all the way around, grab everything. Was not a thing at the time. It wasn't a thing at the time. You had to go to every single one. You had to go to the toolbox, click on that, hold it down, watch it go. The red go around it to make sure that that's exactly what you want. And then you had to go down to the battery and do the same thing. And then to the cake. And then to the other two things. You had to do that for every little thing. That took forever. Forever. To get past a level, it took forever. Now you can just hit that. So everybody complaining now that the grind and the amount of time it takes, they don't have a clue what it was like pre-2021. Before they added that in. It was numbing, like finger numbing, and like if you were gonna stream this game, okay, you had to get on, unlock all that stuff before you stream. Otherwise, you're gonna have like almost a half hour of just unlocking shit at the beginning of your stream or middle or whatever. I wouldn't even get any of that stuff until my stream was done or before stream. So in that way I didn't have to spend minutes on minutes on minutes just trying to get from level 5 to 6. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous. Now we have this button, and within that same amount of time, I can go up 10 levels. So I don't feel like the grind is as bad. Not to mention that this game, one thing I'll give this game prop for sure is their battle pass. They call it the Shrine, but basically like a Call of Duty battle pass. And what I give for them, right, is they got the free version just like Call of Duty does, right? Then they got the pay version just like Call of Duty does. They also don't have an extra $20 version yet like Call of Duty does, where it's like, oh, $10 was not enough. You need to give us $20 extra to get even better versions of the skin because we're greedy fucks. DVD don't do that yet. But here's the thing. Whether you do the pay version or not, once you finish the season pass and get all the skins and all the banners and all the hell they call them, the little keychains, whatever, for your characters and whatnot have you be. Get done with that. It keeps going. It goes to 200. Yeah, they're all blood points, but if you're playing enough where you're getting through the battle pass, you keep going, keep playing, you go through it, you're getting 5,000 blood points per column after the fact. So it keeps going, which I helps lessen the grind. But yeah, I don't want to. Does it take some time? Yes, but is it still a really bad grind compared to everything, to all the years before 2021? I think is when it got released, so I'm just gonna go with it. It's not that bad.
In 2025 to get tier 3 teachables on everyone is insane. You can only imagine how much time that would actually take. I get comments all the time from people that watch my videos that can't replicate the build I'm running because the perk simply isn't available to them. I think if you spend real world dollars to unlock a character, the perk should also come along with it. No more tier 1 or 2 bullshit family dollar versions, just a perk as it was intended, available on everyone. This is DBD, not classic World of Warcraft. Now Behavior said they...
I get re-listening to it, I guess I kind of understand where he's coming from, but I don't think they should be like got the high rank purple versions. I think it should just be you still have to get them through the blood web, but you don't have to wait until you get. Because like right now, if you get a new character, you have to get to prestige 1 with them for those 3 perks that go with that character to unlock for all players. It should just be yellow for everybody, and then if you say, let's say you play in Claudette, and like I said earlier, and you want lower cross finesse, then you go on Claudette's blood web, and you spend until you get the purple version of it. That's how it should be. So I can see a middle ground there for sure.
Plan on implementing a new way for new players to test characters
Not
they
sponsored.
haven't purchased yet, similar to the old Splinter offerings. As this is a step in the right direction, I think it's really just another way to get you to buy it, with the rest of the problems still being there. All of this factored in on top of potentially having a shit experience due to lack of information, spotty matchmaking, or getting bled out at 5 gens because some dude had a bad day IRL. It's not hard to see why the new player experience feels bad.
Yeah.
Dude, are you gonna buy anything?
It's
Yeah.
It's a fair point too. It's like people who play carolers that are trolling, like they're also the ones that will complain about, man, it's taking so long to find a match. Well, maybe if you don't run out all these new players, like, oh, I don't want to play Dead by Daylight. I don't really care for Dead by Daylight. Oh, hey, they did a collaboration with this. Oh, like they're doing a collaboration with Five Nights at Freddy's. That's going to bring a lot of people, Five Nights at Freddy fans, into DBD. If you want them to stay, don't be a dick. You know what I mean? Don't knock one. Oh, they're new. Obviously, they just got the game because Five Nights at Freddy's came out. I'm gonna slug them on the ground and then just stare at them the whole game. That's gonna make them not want to be around because they're gonna sit there and go, "Oh, this player base is kind of shitty." I got another skip.
Maybe that game. Is there anything else wrong with it?
Yeah. The bugs.
Oh, what kind of bugs?
Before he starts with bugs, every game has bugs. Every game. These days, every game. Every game. Back in the day, not every game. These days, every game. Now, there were some here and there back in the day that would have bugs and would have, hell, even the Nintendo days had games that came out that had some game-breaking bugs, and people again learned, adapt, and conquered it, and beat the games over it. But another thing is, game developers don't care anymore. They don't get game testers to test their games before they release it to make sure everything's all good. We are now the purchasing game testers. We buy their game, we test it, we complain on X, they fix it, or come out with a hot fix, a month later after the game comes out, whatever it may be. Every game is that now these days. Get used to it. Unfortunately, I don't like it. I don't like being an unpaid game tester, but I've accepted that that's the way it is these days. They don't want to spend the extra money to have people test their games before they come out. So yeah, games are going to have bugs. But here's the other thing, right? We're at this age now where we have live service games, which I would honestly put Dead by Daylight in that category because something's always new coming out to it. There's always new nerfs happening. There's always buffs happening. Events are going on here and there. New things get added. Some things get taken away. It has happened. I mean, like currently, you cannot get any of the Attack on Titan skins anymore. I looked in the store. I do not see that bundle anywhere, and I've looked multiple times, and I've had friends who wanted them because they saw my skins, couldn't find them as well. So it's take some, leave some, lose some, whatever it would be. But with these live service games, my point is when they add stuff, it breaks other stuff, and then they have to work on it. It's like that with Fortnite. Fortnite's had its ups and downs. Why did they have their downs? Because something got broke when they added something. Look at the when they put the sword. That sword was so broken, people quit playing the game because they were like, if somebody gets that sword, it's a wrap, and people quit playing it. Hell, the Thanos glove or the Thanos event almost brought the player base down as well, because of Thanos was so strong, it was like impossible. If you didn't get him first, you were screwed. So people, a lot of people, that player base dropped again. When they got rid of it, it got back up. That's just how these live games are. They create bugs, they create issues. That's why I think a lot of people are sick of live service games. I mean, look at X Defiant. That came out towards I want to say October, and it's already a dead game.
The last thing I want to include in this video is
Bugs.
something that has been in the game since its inception: the fucking bugs. I'll start off by saying I have no idea how to make a video game, or what it even takes to make one function. And yeah, all games have bugs, but Dead by Daylight is notorious for being consistently buggy at any given time. It's almost expected and happens so frequently that we as a community just go, oh, that's just DVD. And I'm not even talking about the PTB stuff. We all know that it's only there.
He's right. A lot of us hardcore DVD players, that's kind of what we were at this point. We're just like, DVD. It happens. It happens. Right about that.
For us to test things they're working on. I'm talking about the live server bugs that stay in the game for way too long. If playing on Gideon's wasn't already challenging, this bug has been in the game for weeks. Now, if I could outplay due to a way better opponent, that's completely fine.
I might have to try it. I haven't heard of that bug. That explains a lot, though. That explains why a couple days ago, when I was playing on that map, I was chasing somebody, went around the corner, their scratch marks were gone. I checked the lockers, couldn't find them, had no idea where they went, thought they were cheating, kind of were, because they were using an exploit. They probably used that wall, and I never knew about it. That is insane. I gotta see it again. I gotta see this again. It's insane. That was an insane
it's
bug.
Expected and happens so frequently that we as a community just go,
that was
oh,
insane.
That's just DVD. And I'm not even talking about the PTB stuff. We all know that it's only there for us to test things they're working on.
That's why player test builds in the name.
Way too long. If playing on Gideon's wasn't already challenging, this bug has been in the game for weeks.
That's insane.
Now, if I could outplay due to a way better opponent, that's completely fine.
I don't know why you said Gideon. Was that Gideon? I thought that was. Was that not the game map?
Too long. If playing on Gideon's wasn't already challenging,
game.
This bug has been in the game.
Gideon's
for
bait
weeks.
plant. That's
now,
what
if I could outplay
fair
due
enough.
to a way better opponent, that's completely fine. But if I get outplayed because the game just decided it wants to fuck me, then that's when I start getting frustrated. Behavior releases new content every quarter. As much as I think new stuff coming to DVD helps bring life back to the game at its low peaks,
it does.
I feel some bugs or game performance just simply gets swept under the rug. The community has voiced their opinions multiple times on this very specific topic. Take a chapter off and give us a game health patch. Like, I don't give a shit about Mario potentially coming to DVD. Fix couch mode Wesker grabs, man. Because bugs vary from mildly annoying to game breaking. If those types of bugs exist, you know damn right people will exploit them. I honestly don't believe that the devs are trying to put out bad product. Whether they prioritize the content schedule or they just don't have enough manpower, the thing that worries me the most is them shipping patches intentionally knowing that things are broken. And they simply have to set time in the future for them to be addressed. And who knows, maybe they believe that the community will simply just forgive them as it's something that happens so frequently. Because it's very...
We do. Maybe, depending on the bug, some people are forgiving, some people aren't. It be what it be. They need to take the time that they do, make a new chapter, skip it one time for the one time, and I agree, do a game healing, What's it called? What he call it?
I honestly don't believe that the devs are trying to put out bad product. Whether they prioritize the content schedule or they just don't have enough manpower, the thing that worries me the most is them.
I don't think they have enough manpower too, by the way. That's why I think they need to do that, because Behavior, believe it or not, is a smaller company. You know what I mean? They are a smaller company. It's not like it's Activision that has thousands of employees. They only have a couple hundred. So it's for sure partly that they don't have the manpower. But that's why they, instead of using what manpower they have to keep bringing in new killers, new survivors, and new content and everything else, new game modes and whatever, take that time that you would take to make all that and make a whatever he called it. We're about to find out here in a minute.
Patches intentionally knowing that things are broken, and they simply have to set time in the future for them to be addressed. And who knows, maybe they believe that the community will simply just forgive them, as it's something that happens so frequently. Because it's very apparent that Dead by Daylight likes to play both sides of the fence. On one side you have competitive balancing, but then they also lean towards the party game as well. And it seems like they just let us, the community, cannibalize each other over that.
To be fair, the game came out as a party game. The player base made it competitive. DBD was always a party game. Just you know what? I don't feel like sweating. I just want to get on, relax, play some games. Right? That's what DBD was. Through the years, though, it became competitive. They started making tournaments. So people started like really practicing up for tournaments. And then you had streamers making their own tournaments. It got very competitive very quick. Like once the competitiveness came in, it just took over. Nothing you can stop it. It was like a virus that just quickly took over everything.
Because party games are more forgiving. Competitive games are not. Can you imagine there was a game-breaking bug in like a game like Valorant? That would be hotfixed instantly.
Hey, look! You ever hear about Valorant?
And like I mentioned earlier in the
you ever hear about Valorant? Good game to play while listening to the boys while eating a Slim Jim.
Because party games are more forgiving. Competitive games are not. Can you imagine there was a game-breaking bug in like a game like Valorant? That would be hotfixed instantly. And like I mentioned earlier,
I don't agree with that, because again, how many bugs are in Call of Duty? How long did it take them to fix a couple bugs in Modern Warfare 3? Almost till the end of the game for them to finally fix it. It doesn't get fixed that quick. And Call of Duty is a competitive game. And its problems don't get fixed. There's still problems in Black Ops 6 right now that ain't fixed yet. Like there are people who can't put clan tags on because it messes with their names and whatever. I was about to say, people don't just care. They know you're going to play either way, to be honest. Yeah, and that's it, too. If you enjoy the game, you just put it aside and play the game. Right. Party games get a little more relaxed, but competitive games don't get relaxed. But my thing is, though, devs don't care. Are they still putting money? This person is complaining about this gun glitch. Dude, the Cody Rhodes SMG glitch is still glitched. They never fixed it. It was still glitched. I tried it one more time before Black Ops 6 came out, like the day before when we did the last day of Modern Warfare 3. It was still broken. You go to aim, it looked fine. As soon as you shoot, your gun was doing circles around the screen. Like, they never fixed it. Now, granted, that's towards the end of the game. When that came out, towards the end of the game, sure. But it was such a broken thing. It should have been fixed within a couple days. It's still broken. I was referring to the developers. Yeah. That's what I figured you were talking about. But yeah, like, it's... They don't care. Oh, they're complaining about this gun. Are people still buying the gun? Yes. All right. We're still making money. Who cares?
in the video, I'll give credit where credit is due. Dead by Daylight does get patched relatively frequently.
I don't think I'm gonna get any COD in today.
Way too long.
We might just
do
react all
because
night.
they just don't have time to get to it, or it simply just flies under their noses. All I'm saying is DVD is going on 9 years. relatively frequently. There's just some bugs that stay in the game way too long, and I don't know if it's because they just don't have time to get to it or it simply just flies under their noses. All I'm saying is DBD is going on.
I think they get told about it. They put it down for like a to-do list type of deal, and then either A, it gets so buried between other things that they forget about it, or B, they kind of just shove it over the rug and hope people ignore it. Sometimes that's how I feel. Again, though, they are a smaller company, so you should react to what's DE.
9 years, and we shouldn't have the expectation that when new content or a patch drops, something else breaks. And those are just some of the things that frustrate me the most.
That's it too. Like with DVD, it's kind of a fun mini game. It's like, oh hey, new patch came out. Oh hey, new chapter came out. All right, you got me. All right. You got me, Pate. You got me. Oh, stream's over, chat. I'm done. There's not. I can't come back from that. Y'all have a good night now. I hope y'all have a great day and everything else.
The video, I wanted to give you some of my honorable mentions. Trapper is a poster boy at DBD and is the only killer in the game that has to do chores before he can play. Let him start with all of his traps. Amanda Young has like 5 reverse bear traps up her ass. You cannot tell me that is impossible. Totem spawns are pretty bad. This needs to be reworked, I think. I don't know how you're gonna do it. They're just bad. Having my ruin cleanse.
Sometimes they're bad. There are times where I've seen them where they're pretty god tier. There's times where I'm like, I can't find them as survivors. I'm like, where the hell did their hex spawn? So sometimes they spawn in bad spots.
Before my characters finish loading into the game in current DBD. Before I end the video, I wanted to give you some of my honorable mentions. Trapper is a poster boy at DBD and is the only killer in the game that has to do chores before he can play. Let him start with all of his traps. Amanda Young has like 5 reverse bear traps up her ass. You cannot tell me that is impossible.
At the very least, have them start with like 3 or 4, and then have some around the map for them to pick up. So I agree with this.
Totem spawns are pretty bad. This needs to be reworked, I think. I don't know how you're gonna do it. They're just bad. Having my ruin cleanse before my characters finish loading into the game sucks. And getting 4-man slugs in solo queue because the killer gets off on some weird power complex needs to be addressed. I understand completely capitalizing on a team that makes mistakes, but deliberately doing it so the other people have a miserable time only adds to the problem of retaining players. A give up after bleed out for a certain period of time would be nice. At the end of the day, I love Dead by Daylight. I think at its core, it's a really, really good, really fun game, but definitely has some tough aspects to it.
Said what now? Hold on, one more time.
Because the killer gets off on some weird power complex needs to be addressed. I understand completely capitalizing on a team that makes mistakes, but deliberately doing it so the other people have a miserable time only adds to the problem of retaining players. A give up after bleed out for a certain period of time would be nice. At the end of the day, I love Dead by Daylight. I think at its core, it's a really, really good.
I don't agree with that. If you give survivors a give up after a certain amount of bleed time, you're going to have the same issue that we already have with people giving up on a hook. Same thing with hooks. It's going to happen with people crawling, and it's going to happen even quicker. And as far as I'm concerned, and this is coming from not a survivor main, but somebody who plays both killer and survivor pretty equally, I would say. If you get a 4 slug, that's on them. They messed up. Don't really agree that I don't agree that that's bad matters. I feel like, okay, you have 4 people. If you're able to get all 4 down, 1, they weren't working as a team, in my opinion. 2, they made too many mistakes and they lose. It's an embarrassing loss. Don't get me wrong. It shouldn't make it where, oh, people would just give up. That's kind of ridiculous. There's perks, right? There's perks that you can use to get right up. Oh, I don't agree with that. I don't.
Really fun game, but definitely has some tough aspects to it. I've been able to gain over 700,000 subscribers and create a super awesome community because of it, and I'm forever thankful for what this game has done. I'm interested in what you think about the things I mentioned in this video, so make sure to leave a comment below and tell me how thick I look. If you like these commentary style videos, I would suggest taking a look at my second channel where I cover movie reviews and other fun things. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one.
Yeah, so that is